and alcoholics, things like that. And my desire to be loved and to be a people pleaser was just as destructive. They say, you know, in these kind of dynamics, that it's a family disease because it's mutually destructive. And so for me to tell the story honestly, that many of us are within this kind of dysfunctional situation in life, whether it's sex addiction, or gambling, or drugs, or alcohol, and codependence, and unprocessed pain. You have to tell it honestly. Like, you don't realize what's going on. Nobody's setting out to hurt somebody and manipulate themselves or others. These boundaries that get crossed very easily, and how she even mind fucks herself. Like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, 2 seconds later, well, maybe I'll just, you know, if I get this or if that happens. How fast we slide when we don't have good boundaries. So I think to tell that story honestly, everyone's a little bit of a bad guy, and everybody is in pain, and everybody's looking for something they can't get.
Right, and I feel like we don't see that, characters like that in the movies, because people are worried about characters being on some level likable or identifiable, or I mean, every day when you were making the movie, like, I'm just curious, like, just everything is so visceral and real, and feels like there's no sort of like layer between the audience and the performances and what's going on. How did you approach that as a director in terms of creating that reality? Because it's all very real and very in the moment.
Well, these guys all came really ready to go, you know, so I think a lot of it just starts with casting really talented people who are bringing so much to the table. Elizabeth was always making me laugh, and she had this fresh way of looking at things, and almost I looked at the characters like they were almost Greek myths or something. Like Cassandra can see the future, but no one believes her. That's her curse. She's always trying to warn him, but nobody listens to what she has to say. So they each brought something great, but then also Bobby and I, when we were working on it, talked about things like lens sizes, and there's certain norms in film where we're like, let's make the close-ups too close, like a little weirdly close, you know, or really wide shots, and kind of messing with different things in that kind of a way. Also, like in that scene where Willem's kind of yelling, and he's so angry at his publisher, and he's beating his chest like King Kong. He's going in and out of focus, and a lot of times then people would just throw that away and reshoot that shot. But I wanted to do that because that happened in the 70s all the time, because you didn't print on the spot. You couldn't rewatch the scene. You printed it